Hello, denizens. As you know, with every green light or not pilot video that I do, I provide a final summation as to how well I did in my original assessment. To summarize, I gave Agatha All Along a cautious green light because of the cast, because it looked silly and I thought it might follow some sort of logical TV conventions. Well, I was wrong. Almost none of these Disney Plus streaming shows follow any sort of logical TV conventions. I need to stop applying the rules I worked by, the rules that worked for decades on the networks, and accept the new high art form of these streaming masterpieces, I guess. I just don't get it. Well, except for the one small fact, most Disney Plus shows that I can think of outside of The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 have all been ratings disasters. Disney is not the only abuser here. Rings of Power, Wheel of Time on Prime are abysmal. The Terminal List was an exception because it was a coherent story starring a charismatic lead with a beginning, middle, and an end. Who'd have thought a show following logical TV conventions would work? The bottom line is that my method is sound, and I ain't changing it. I'm sticking with it. Disney and Prime have to stop hiring morons. So, back to the conclusion of Agatha All Along. The show sort of sputtered along fine for the first 3 episodes and then fell off the rails in episode 4 and never really recovered. Based on this and its ratings plummet, any sane TV network exec would have killed it right then and there. But this is streaming, where they insist on releasing every last bit of excrement they paid for. The pilot set the expectations, and then the show abandoned them. Were there interesting moments? Yes, sure. It wasn't excruciatingly painful like Ahsoka or The Acolyte. It was just not very good, and a waste of good talent. Its most egregious crime was that it lost its way. But it was clear by the end that the entire purpose of the series was not to engage us with weekly witch hijinks, but to introduce Billy Kaplan as the new Scarlet Witch as part of some future Young Avengers series. Well, this was not my observation, but Scribelites, who was familiar with the Agatha comics. Marvel has created a teen version of Iron Man in the guise of Ironheart, the bestest Iron Girl ever, and I'm assuming Ms. Marvel, that girl from Echo, and maybe others I've already forgotten about and just don't care. It's bad enough that Marvel makes you do homework to watch a show lovingly crafted from previous Disney Plus abominations, but to assume that we had to read a comic most of us never heard of was stupid. This revelation essentially totally subverted the promise of the show in much the same way WandaVision started well and then turned into trash. Wait a second. Both series were showrun by Jack Schaefer. Holy shit. Wasn't her dreadful Black Widow enough? Marvel seems to have trapped itself in trying to set up their stupid MCU derivatives. Everything has to be connected. They can't just give us a standalone bit of entertainment. Oh, I forgot to add that Agatha is killed and becomes Billy's therapy ghost. It's also stupid. While I'm not in the we never asked for it camp, as most things that became successful were actually things we never anticipated, but I'm certainly not interested in a Young Avengers based on these ratings disasters. Let me finish by telling you some of the things the show did wrong, so you budding writers out there hopefully won't make the same mistake. Lead characters have to lead. It's why you tune in each week. I got so tired of the teen with no name mystery box constantly driving the plot. The show is called Agatha All Along. For reasons I could not fathom, she became a supporting character in her own show. If you create a show called The Rockford Files, who do you think you have to feature? Do you want me to give you some time to guess? Another suggestion is figure out which character is the good guy and which one is the bad guy and stick with it. Stop trying to degrade the good guy and stop making us sympathize with the bad guy. Agatha was happy to kill off her coven and steal their witch powers because that was what she was doing for centuries. I mean, she was like a bad character in WandaVision, but was she doing it to save her son Nicholas, who Death, played by Aubrey Plaza, took away? Oh, sorry, spoiler warning, was that too late? So, was Agatha the bad guy or was it Aubrey Plaza? But she was barely in the show. In a series, generally the lead character steps in to solve a problem or is the cause of the problem and has to fix it. Not in this show. And then the Witch's Road, which they sung about endlessly, turned out to be a big nothing. It never really existed except when Billy conjured it up, and this was my main problem. I didn't care about Billy's story. I never cared about his situation. All it did was take away from what I thought the show was supposed to be about. I hated his interjections, his admonishments. He was constantly telling everyone what to do. Look, why not just rename the show Billy and His Bitches? What I can't figure out, was this assignment writing for Jack Schaefer? Did Marvel tell her, look, Jack, without a K, we want you to take Agatha from WandaVision and fashion a story where by the end of it, the Scarlet Witch's kid Billy is ready for us to insert into the Young Avengers series. Yes, Schaefer's hands could very well have been tied, and this was the best she could do. My bet that this was the case. But look what we have to look forward to, an updated version of The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.